keep you waiting for a sec.
No problem.
This thing's pretty fucking sweet.
Isn't it, though?
Life hack of In-N-Out is you do not go through the drive-thru at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Because that's just suicide.
Somehow it feels like you get it faster. I'm sure they still sling the orders between the drive-thru and the... But it feels faster.
They do their very best, but I still feel like the line's a lot shorter inside. Placing your order is half the battle.
Yeah.
Ah, the traditional In-N-Out already hamburger all over it napkins.
I don't think either one of us even got chili. Or animal style? I don't know. I never get extra stuff on my burgers. I am a very...
Just get a regular old burger.
Yeah.
Speaking of, your hamburger with lettuce.
Thank you.
Double, no onions.
I've only recently been experimenting with burgers with anything other than my usual on it. So I tried like a mushroom burger the other day. That was pretty good.
Well, what's your usual?
Just lettuce, ketchup, and pickles. That's it. That's all I want on my burger 90% of the time.
I can get behind that. Got a hair stuck in my glasses. We're not editing that out later either. What is he picking at his face? Yeah, I'm that way with pizza. I don't like weird-ass pizza.
Yeah.
I just want pepperoni. Stop putting weird-ass monkey parts on your pizza. Pineapple and whatever else. It's fine, of course. It's just not for me. If I wanted something weird, I'd order something weird. If I want pizza, I want, pizza.
I actually find that pineapple and pepperoni go really well together. And people are all about Hawaiian style with the ham. I don't like that at all. But with pepperoni, that's actually pretty fucking amazing.
Pineapple pepperoni, huh?
Yeah.
I'll go there with you. Next time we're shooting, we'll order a pineapple pepperoni.
You see how it goes together. It's nice. It's the tang goes with like the greasy. Next video series can be pizza cooking.
I feel like we could do a topless. Well, you be topless. I'll stand nearby. Nobody needs to see that, really.
We can both be topless. It'd be good. It's equality.
There's a lot of topless cooking shows, right? That's like a thing.
Is it?
Just don't cook bacon because you get grease spattered on
Right,
your
that'd be
boobies.
terrible. I see people are really into the, like, I think it's pronounced mukbang, where they, like, eat a whole bunch on camera.
It's a new genre to me.
While they, like, it's, like, supposed to be, like, having dinner with your viewers.
Oh,
like,
okay.
you're doing it together.
Okay.
Is, I guess, the concept.
Hey, anything that gets somebody off, I'm only too happy for them. Being a metal guitarist means having the strongest back of your neck muscles in the world from all the moshing on stage, but it's been a long time.
It was my first time experiencing kind of that. I didn't have the proper, like, keep your shoulders with your head technique. I was just kind of going all over the place, so I spent the next 3 days so sore.
Yeah, you got whiplash.
I literally did give myself whiplash.
Pay the price for our art. I do love an In-N-Out burger.
I, like, barely talk when I'm eating, so this is probably the most...
Well, they'll do free mukbang.
There we go.
So we shot the cool hot wax scene, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think every time we've worked together, we've also just shot some bonus content that we wanted to do.
Because we're there, and the dungeon's there. When you're doing BDSM together on film, we did this thing where, like, we did a kind of one style of the scene where I like it, one where I don't.
I've done a bunch of this. This is one custom video guy.
It's great.
Yeah, I
because,
love it. It's
like
a
when we
choose your
were
own adventure.
starting out, you could, like, actively ask for the feedback, and then immediately afterwards we could get a little bit more intense because you knew my limits.
Right.
And I think that worked incredibly well to the point where, like, if I was shooting regularly with other people, I would make that, like, a staple starting thing.
Requirement.
For just, like, building the relationship.
Even when we're not doing that, if it's a day when we're either just getting content or have the spare time to get content, I like to try and shoot a really rough, evil, dark, extreme thing because it's what I like.
Yeah.
But I also like to shoot a sensual, consensual scene. I'll usually do that first because, like you said, we can get a lot of just biofeedback, let alone verbal feedback.
Yeah.
So that we're already comfortable with each other when we start, raping and murdering.
Because, you saw me as just doing mainstream, so you were being really gentle with me. When we were doing the consensual, I could actually tell you, go harder.
Right.
If you're supposed to be beating the life out of me and I'm screaming and stuff, I can't be like, Hey, you can go a little harder right now.
Right, code word. This one means harder. This one. I had
Yeah.
somebody who used to do that. They just had certain words like mercy meant harder.
Oh.
And some other word meant softer.
That works really
but I'm
well.
like
I
in
might
the
pick that
heat of
up.
the moment, you're like, wait, which one was which?
Yeah, actually, that might be a problem.
Because everybody's got their weird safe word. I'm like, don't have a weird safe word. You're going to have to try and remember it, and I'm going to have to try to remember it. Have a safe word, but don't have it be like Tierra del Fuego or...
That should kind of be reserved for long-term partners, I feel like, where you can really, like, remember exactly what that is because you're using it over and over again.
And unless it's an actual rape scene or consensual non-consent play, stop works just fine.
Yeah.
Unless no doesn't mean no, which sometimes it doesn't. And even then I can tell by tone. If we're in the middle of a shoot and you're like, no, stop. No, wait, I heard that.
Yeah.
And I'll stop to figure out what's wrong,
Yeah.
I know when you're
It
out of
kind of-
character. I'm not saying don't use safe words. I'm
Yes.
just saying they're not enough. You need to
But
pay
I
attention to
do
each other.
feel like there used to be more of an emphasis on, like, paying attention to people's feedback non-verbally. I feel like it used to be expected that the dom in the scene would be able to kind of read those small things that say, okay, yeah, that actually is my limit. And it wasn't, safe words are still important for when that isn't read. But I think it should be the responsibility of, if you're beating the shit out of someone, then you should know if they tense up, you might need to, lighten up a little bit.
So much of it is that and then really we're there for that connection, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise I could just whip a pillow or whip a chair and
Exactly.
that'd be just as much fun.
I
whipping
think if you're
something.
not paying that much attention, then yeah, what's the point of the scene?
Yeah, it's the connection. It's the feedback, the response.
Yeah, I find myself, like, a lot of the times when I hear about the way people come about pickup play, I feel like an old crotchety person that was, like, there in the 90s and I wasn't even.
No, I'm the same way though, and this is another hot take. I hate Florentine flogging.
Yeah?
I have no problem with the speed and the grace and the skill involved. I just hate people who do it. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not looking at the bottom they're hitting. They're scanning the audience for their next conquest. Check out how bitchin' I am with my two-handed technique. Don't you
Yeah.
want some of this? And not looking at what they're doing. It's like, if this is a generalization. If this doesn't apply to you, don't take offense. If it does apply to you, fuck off. I'm talking about you.
I went to the BDSM party when I was at AVN, and I mostly just went to, like, watch people while they were doing stuff on the St. Andrew crosses. And there were 2 couples right next to each other. Mm-hmm. The one that I was watching for most of the night, they seemed so connected to each other, and, like, the
nice.
top really knew exactly when to, like, start patting down and start rubbing the body to prep it for more pain. And she and the sub took so much because that connection was there. And then right next to them, there was a couple that seemed very, very much like they didn't really understand, I guess this is elitism, what BDSM was about. They just seemed like they were kind of doing something titillating.
Right. No, preach. I'm with you.
And I saw a lot of, like, there were a lot of times the top didn't want to stop doing what they were doing, but the bottom wasn't being prepped to the point where they could take the pain, so they were just whipping around the sub so they could continue to show off.
Yeah, I just...
The juxtaposition was so intense for, like, yeah, that's exactly what I think BDSM should be versus what I think maybe people should look a little deeper into it.
Just for the record, juxtaposition is one of my favorite words. Just because it's such a cool word and you don't get to use it that often.
You don't get to use a lot of words with X's in them.
Juxtaposition
so any
and
word with X.
serendipity.
Yes,
I love
serendipity is good.
serendipity.
I love serendipity because it's one of my favorite traits in GURPS.
You could just say good luck, but it's really stumbling upon what you were looking for by accident.
Mm-hmm. It's its own specific kind of luck.
And I love that word. But anyway, yes, I can't even go to those. This is me crotchety old man. I won't go to a fetish party connected to the industry. Because there's so few people in the industry for whom I have any respect of their abilities. They're out there, but they're very few, and they don't go to those parties either.
Yeah.
It's the up-and-comers who haven't got the skills yet but want to get the job that tend to be doing stupid shit at industry fetish parties. I'm like, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
Lifestyle parties are so much better.
Oh, I wish I could go to more of those. Once I get my car, I'm going to end up around those so often.
Hell yeah.
I'm nearing the end part of my burger where it's kind of trying to all fall apart.
There's an art to it. You're like, how do I not have this giant piece of lettuce or meat or all the bread's gone or it's only bread now? You did that perfectly though. Very well done.
Eventually you just shove it all in.
Are we still talking about burgers or?
I love this guy with a ton of furniture going through the drive-thru.
Yeah, I'm moving out of my apartment, but let's stop for a burger. Okay, sure. It's LA.
Yeah, why not?
Not here to judge. Kind of here to judge. A little bit here to judge. Yeah.
I'm actually... one of my, like, hobbies is just going out and people watching and, like, finding silly little things to judge.
Sure.
It sounds mean, but it's almost a way of, like, I over-perceive when I'm out and about, like, oh, is someone judging me for this ridiculous thing? And if I just see it as, like, people doing it out of their own enjoyment because it's a hobby, I don't worry about other people's judgment as much, because they're just having fun. They're just
harmless.
doing their own thing. It's harmless.
And you get to judge. You get to have every opinion you want in your head. It's when you start preaching and or acting them.
Yeah, I mean, I never, like, yell and tell people my fucking, I don't know. I think that blouse doesn't match with those leggings. It doesn't matter. I never say it.
But you could think it.
You can think it all you want. It doesn't matter.
When we give presentations for college classes, we'll be talking about BDSM or whatever. We do a lot of presentations, and I talk sometimes about rape fantasy because that's kind of my wheelhouse. And they're like, how can you think those thoughts? I'm like, you can think any thoughts you want. In the privacy of your head, you can do whatever you want. I've violated like 8 of you while I've been sitting in this classroom in my head, and you can't stop me. And there's nothing wrong with that. We fantasize about murdering our family and blowing up buildings all the time.
It's very human to do that. It's the important thing about, you know, having higher consciousness is that we're able to think those thoughts and not act on them immediately.
Exactly. It's healthy to get those out. It's kind of what porn is, right? Is a way for people to get those thoughts out. All right, I'm getting tired of this parking lot.
It's really loud.
It is really loud. Transient, ready?
Damn!
Juxtaposition.